Hello everyone, welcome to Kansas Future, your go-to spot for everything Kansas City Chiefs. Here's where you'll find the best and hottest news about our team. Today, brace yourselves. We're talking about a guy who's just joined us but is already making waves. DeAndre Hopkins. Yes, we'll dive into the chemistry he's building with our QB, Patrick Mahomes. Want to know everything about how this duo promises to set the NFL on fire in the coming weeks? Then go ahead, smash that like button and subscribe, because you won't want to miss a single update on this growing partnership. Now, let's get straight to it. Everyone knows DeAndre Hopkins is a living legend, a five-time All-Pro and one of the most consistent and dominant players in the league. And now, he's wearing Chiefs red and gold. But folks, what's really catching everyone's attention is how quickly he's adapting to our offensive system and syncing with Patrick Mahomes in record time. In the last game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Hopkins showed he's not here to play around. He racked up 8 receptions for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. But don't think this happened out of nowhere. Hopkins, a machine on the field, shared some secrets of this new partnership with Mahomes in his post-game press conference. And let me tell you, he's learning, evolving, and adapting more and more. How does this chemistry work? What's behind this fast-growing connection between Hopkins and Mahomes? According to Hopkins himself, the key is constant communication. He said he's feeling more comfortable with the team every day and praised the coaches for doing an excellent job preparing him. But it's not just that. He highlighted the intense exchange of ideas he has with Mahomes. He mentioned that in practice, and even in the locker room, they talk about how they see the plays, what they like to do, and he's always absorbing Mahomes' ideas, studying every detail. This shows Hopkins is fully committed to adapting to the Chiefs' system, and above all, connecting with Mahomes. Why is this connection so important? Because the Chiefs' season is getting more challenging, and having a solid connection between Mahomes and Hopkins could be the difference between an ordinary season and a historic one. Hopkins made it clear he's not just running plays, he's also getting into the mind of our quarterback. That means, with more practice time and more games together, this duo has everything to become one of the NFL's deadliest combos. As Hopkins himself said, "I'm always learning." He doesn't put himself above the team. Instead, he's constantly working to understand the system and Mahomes' mentality. Isn't this the kind of humility and professionalism we want to see in our team? He's always striving to integrate, which only reinforces his commitment to the Chiefs. In the game against the Buccaneers, this chemistry began to bear fruit. 8 receptions for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns in a single game. Folks, that's not just a stat line. It's a warning to opposing defenses that Hopkins is here to contribute and to shine. Anyone who's seen Mahomes with a reliable target like Hopkins knows this could turn into a nightmare for any opponent. This was just the beginning, and they've already shown they can do serious damage together. Imagine when this connection gets even sharper. Are we witnessing the start of a new era of explosive passes from the Chiefs? Aside from the partnership between Mahomes and Hopkins, Hopkins had high praise for the Chiefs coaching staff. He mentioned that everyone, from the offensive coordinator to the assistants, is constantly challenging his knowledge and preparing him for every possible situation. This not only makes him more comfortable on the field, but also helps him adapt to different game scenarios. He specifically mentioned Connor Embry, the assistant who, according to Hopkins, is always testing him and going over the game plan. This is something not all wide receivers get, and it just shows how serious the work is within our franchise. That's what sets the Chiefs apart. So, Chiefs Kingdom, are we about to witness one of the NFL's most dynamic duos? Patrick Mahomes and DeAndre Hopkins have the potential to take this Chiefs offense to a whole new level. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think of this chemistry between Mahomes and Hopkins? Do you think this duo will make history with the Chiefs? Leave your opinion in the comments. Do you think they're already the best QBWR duo in the league? Or is there still room for growth? We want to know what you think about this moment for our offense. Don't forget to like this video if you're excited about the future of this partnership. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates, because this season has plenty more thrills and surprises in store for us. This one was a no-brainer. It's just been confirmed. I'll give you the lowdown on everything that went down behind the scenes. If you want to stay up to date on this and other news, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Today, we've got a big injury report following our thrilling Monday Night Football win, plus some updates on roster changes that could impact our path to a historic 3rd consecutive Super Bowl. Let's dive into what's happening on the field and in the locker room. Starting on the injury front, there was a collective sigh of relief when the Chiefs announced that Patrick Mahomes' ankle injury shouldn't keep him out of action. The guy is unstoppable, and after he re-aggravated it on Monday night, fans were nervous. But don't worry. Mahomes is set to play in our AFC West matchup against the Denver Broncos this Sunday. However, There's one new addition to the injury report that has us watching closely. Defensive end George Karlaftis has been one of our top playmakers this season, with 22 combined tackles, 15 quarterback pressures, 13 QB hits, 5 tackles for loss, and 4 sacks. In the Week 9 win over the Bucs, he was all over the field, helping the Chiefs stay perfect. But now he's dealing with an abdominal injury and was limited in practice on Wednesday. Karlaftis has become a key piece on defense, especially with his relentless pursuit and big game mentality. Losing him for even one game would be a blow, but Coach Reed and the medical staff will evaluate his progress as we get closer to Sunday. If Karlaftis is unable to play, Malik Herring and Cameron Thomas will have to step up. Herring has 8 tackles, 3 QB hits, and 1 tackle for loss in his 8 games. While Thomas has only appeared in 4 games so far, both players have shown potential, but they'll need to bring their A game to match Karlaftis' skill set and intensity. In the wide receiver room, things are heating up ahead of the trade deadline. The Chiefs have already bolstered their roster by adding DeAndre Hopkins and defensive end Josh Uche, fueling speculation about additional moves. But what does this mean for W.R. Sky Moore? Moore is currently on injured reserve and has yet to make a catch this season. With his playing time dwindling, he could be facing the end of his time in Kansas City if another wide receiver is added, or if Marquise Hollywood or Brown returns sooner than expected. It's no secret that Moore's career hasn't gone as planned since being drafted in the 2nd round in 2022. In limited opportunities, he's already racked up 2 drops, and Mahomes' passer rating has been consistently low when targeting him. While the hope was that Moore could bring some fresh talent to the offense, his struggles and lack of impact have put him on the periphery. If the Chiefs trade for another wide receiver, Moore may have played his last snap in red and gold. For Chiefs Kingdom, this is a bittersweet situation. We're loaded with wide receivers, including Hopkins, Juju Smith-Schuster, Xavier Worthy, Justin Watson, and Mecole Hardman. Adding another weapon could signal the end of Moore's time in Kansas City. Of course, there's always a chance he could come off IR and make a big play down the road, but a fresh start might be what he needs. Let's hear from you, Chiefs fans. What do you think of these latest roster moves and injury updates? Are you concerned about Karlaftis' injury, or do you think Herring and Thomas can step up? And as for Moore, do you think he deserves another chance? Or should the Chiefs move on and make room for someone else? Let us know in the comments. Now, let's talk about Monday night's scare. During the Chiefs' intense 30-24 overtime wins over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we all held our breath as Mahomes was helped off the field after falling awkwardly and spraining his ankle. It happened midway through the 4th quarter on a pivotal play, a 70-yard touchdown pass. Mahomes' response? Sheer resilience. He didn't miss a snap, coming back to lead a drive that eventually secured the overtime win. That's Mahomes' magic right there. Here's what we know about Mahomes' ankle. On Wednesday, our QB spoke to the media, giving us some insight into his recovery. "When you roll around a little bit, it's a little sore," he said via ESPN's Adam Teicher. "But I can move around, and I'm looking forward to getting out there, practicing, and seeing how much I can push it as the week goes on," Mahomes said. A minor setback, perhaps, but this is a guy who's played through injuries before and knows exactly how to handle himself on the field. Head coach Andy Reid backed him up, saying the team doesn't plan on limiting Mahomes in practice this week as they prepare for Sunday's AFC West showdown against the Denver Broncos. That's promising news, Chiefs fans, because a healthy and mobile Mahomes is essential as we look to extend our undefeated streak and secure our spot at the top of the AFC. Through 8 games, Mahomes has thrown for nearly 2,000 yards with 11 touchdowns. Sure, he's thrown 9 interceptions, slightly higher than we're used to seeing from him. But his 90.1 passer rating still ranks him 18th among NFL quarterbacks. Impressive stats, especially when you consider how hard he's playing for every win. So, Chiefs Kingdom, let's hear from you. Are you concerned about Mahomes' ankle? Or do you think he'll bounce back like he always has and dominate the Broncos? Leave your thoughts below and like if you think Mahomes is recovering well. We're diving into a big story today, one that nearly changed the complexion of our defense. The Chiefs were in the market to bring all-pro cornerback Marshon Lattimore to Kansas City ahead of Tuesday's trade deadline, but he ended up being sent to the Washington Commanders. Let's break down what happened and why the Chiefs decided not to match Washington's big offer. Here's the scoop. Kansas City and Lattimore seemed like a perfect fit on paper. Lattimore would have brought incredible coverage skills and experience to our secondary, but the Commanders were willing to go all in, giving up a 3rd, 4th, and 6th round pick in exchange for Lattimore and a 5th round pick from the Saints. That's a serious package. And while Brett Veach and the Chiefs front office explored their options, the steep price tag was too much for them to commit to. One thing we know about Veach is that he wants to maximize value, especially when it comes to trades. Consider how he signed DeAndre Hopkins, a top-tier receiver, for just a conditional 5th-round pick. That's the kind of smart move Chiefs fans have come to expect from Veach. Going all in on Lattimore would have meant giving up several picks, limiting Veach's flexibility to make other moves and reshape the roster during the draft. Another factor here is Veach's approach to building the defense. He's built a reputation for recruiting and developing young talent in the secondary rather than signing veterans to long-term contracts. And it's worked. Our secondary has been rock solid with younger players excelling year after year. Part of Veach's strategy is to ensure the Chiefs remain competitive now and in the long term. And while adding Lattimore may have helped this season, it could have hurt our ability to keep building a balanced and competitive roster moving forward. It's also worth mentioning that the Chiefs have already made some big moves this season, like adding Hopkins and Patriots defensive end Josh Uche. With all these transactions, we're starting to run low on draft capital, and as Mahomes and other stars become more expensive, landing draft picks becomes crucial. Veach has proven himself to be one of the best drafters in the NFL, and keeping these picks gives him the flexibility to continue finding hidden gems that support our franchise quarterback and defense in the long run. At the end of the day, Chiefs Kingdom, this is about confidence. We all know how valuable a guy like Lattimore would have been, but we also know how important it is to stay focused on sustainable success. Kansas City has a real chance at another deep playoff run, but Veach and the front office are also thinking about the future. Passing on Lattimore means the Chiefs keep their draft capital, continue building a young, fast, and hungry defense, and remain prepared to keep the team competitive for years to come. So, what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for all the Chiefs action and exclusive stories. Let's keep this winning streak alive. And go Chiefs!